Well, here's an interesting program I ran into, and it's now in 4 different states, and it's really for people with children who are having financial trouble, and people who don't apply or aren't, don't qualify for the normal programs that are out there. So nonprofit organizations are providing grant money for people who don't apply, who don't qualify for the normal programs. That's what you have to keep looking for. I mean, you can't go to one office and say, oh, they helped children or families or help me with emergency money, and they say, no, we don't have any, or you don't qualify. You just don't stop, because there's so many things that you don't even know about that are out there, and that's the problem, because these organizations do not advertise. They don't have advertising money, like Comcast does or something, to tell you about a service that's available, because they get no money from you. They give money to you, so that's why they can't advertise. So you have to do the work on your side to find them. Now look at this service. Now this is just started in D.C., Kentucky, Oregon, and South Carolina, and probably coming to a place near you soon. And they got $9 million to help needy families expand access to rent, food, and cash assistance, okay? And it's from a nonprofit organization. It's not the government. So that's why it's not the places that you normally look. Now here's another thing too. Here's a sample of what it happened. A woman who took advantage of it. She said, let's see, she's a 40-year-old who has permanent custody of her 11-year-old nephew, and she became ill with the coronavirus, but ran out of sick leave. She missed 10 days of work, unpaid, and wasn't sure how she going to pay her bills and her rent for her 2-bedroom apartment in Northeast. Her child was a foster care as a child. Who was a foster? Oh, this is the woman. I'm sorry. So she was a foster care as a child, and her nephew previously lived in a place called Woodland Terrace, a public housing complex in Southeast. She said she could hear gunshots and things like that. Well, when she walked in the front doors of their building, there was a receptionist. This is her new building, who greeted her nephew and called him Mr. Clean. So it just here. She told she told the call taker. This is when she was trying to get help. She told the call taker she couldn't keep up with her bills, including rent, utilities, and renter's insurance. In less than a month, she received emergency financial assistance for $2,700 through the city's Kinship Navigator program. See, that's the kind of stuff that's out there that you don't know. So how do you find those? Okay, it's really a 2-step process, I think. Now, maybe you'll run it into it easier. But to me, to make sure you don't miss anything, go to findhelp.org. Now you can also go to 211.org too, but what people do, they call 211 and don't get into the real nitty-gritty on how to find things. They hope the operator would know, and you can't rely on that. You can't rely on anybody else. What you want to do is start talking to people who solve problems like this. So if you go to findhelp.org and put in financial assistance, you'll find hundreds of people. Let's do it here, 20009, okay? And you search it there and see what happens, okay? And then you put in financial assistance. Financial assistance, where are you? Come on. Okay, 286 organizations. So there's 286 organizations, in my city that helps people with financial assistance. That means they give you grants, okay? And that's all, because they're not selling loans. They're not doing anything to get money from you. They're giving money. Okay, now you don't really know which one are good for you. You have to start calling and asking people. Hey, and even the ones that you don't think. Now, there's a supportive services for veterans family. Maybe you're not a veteran, but call them anyway. Unless you find more general that you fit into, call these people. And if the general one that you think you fit into doesn't help you, call these people, because they help people like you. And what you want to do is ask them for other sources, besides them that do this. See, they're more likely to know additional sources that you'll be eligible for, even if you're not eligible for their source. And you go down the list. If they're not good, you go down to the next one. If they're not good, you go down to the next one. It's like getting a job. If someone says, oh, I'm not hiring today, or you don't fit the requirement, you don't go home and wait for them to change their mind. You go to the next one. You go to the next one. That's what gutting help is all about. Going to the next one. Going to the next one. And that's what we do at Let's Go Help, is try to train people. This is how you have to live nowadays in our society. If you don't do that, you're going to sit empty-handed. And you don't want to do that. If you have an easier place to get money, fine, you go do it. But if you want to use this system that's out there to give you money for free, you got to learn a little. And it's sort of like learning to ride a bike or learning to use a computer, drive a car. It's all learnable. You just haven't done it before. So let us help you. We have what we have now is something called Let's Go Navigators. These are people who are members that use the system and got the money. You don't have to trust me. Trust them. They're people who didn't know shit from Shinola a couple months ago, and now are cashing in. So that's who we want. So they're live, available to talk to and ask questions of and things like that. I think there's no other place on the planet you can get that, especially for $20. And we also give out our own grants. Every month we give out $75,000 because we're miraculously making a profit. And I never thought I'd make a profit with charging only $20. And so we give the profit back to members. And that means every month we give $75,000 back to you to help your life as much as we can. I mean, we can't solve every problem in the world, but we could give it a try and actually teach you the skills you need for you to do it without me. That's the real key.